everybody, this is Liz with 143 Handmade. I'm going to start doing Mass Make Mondays. Today's the first one. I am part of a collaboration for doing some clusters, which is a Friday thing, but this week's prompt is flowers, and so I thought I would make a bunch of flowers today as the mass make in preparation for making the clusters. I have a couple of different methods for making flowers. You may see my cats pop through. I will shoo them off the desk as quickly as possible, but you know, they live here. I make these out of zippers, but this is slow stitch, so I'm not going to demonstrate these today, but those will be coming up in another video. They're just kind of here for inspiration, as well as these pre-made ones, just to help me get the shapes right. Keep the right shape in mind. So I have some denim circles that we cut out, hundreds of these actually, to make a blanket and some curtains and some other things, a pillow, a bag. I got a little carried away when I got my charming circles quilt thing. And so I have some of these circles left over, so I just thought I would make some flowers out of these. They wash up really nicely and they fray out nicely. When you wash them in a little baggie though, so they don't go down, you know, get stuck down the drain or anything. But I like to, once I find a shape I like, I will just trace it out and then I cut it out. So that one's super simple, and any shape you like, you know, and you don't even have to be like super careful with your tracing. Just give yourself a, you know, a guideline. And let me just snip it out. And I mean, if you have a stencil, a flower stencil you like, then great, use that. If you know, happened upon one that you liked, just a shape, pre-forming it, make yourself a stencil if you really, really like it and you don't trust that you can do it again. Or save that first one and then just trace the others around it once you're happy with the shape. But honestly, with the denim, you don't have to be super careful because it's going to fray when you wash it. It's going to fray. You can fray it out by hand if you have a seam ripper. I prefer to just cut out a whole bunch, throw them in a bag, and wash them in my washing machine. And I like the way that frays them out. A lot of times I'll grab up a couple of tennis balls and throw the tennis balls in there, because the tennis balls can always use a good wash, and it beats the denim up really, really good. And I wash them 2 or 3 times, and so that way it really, really frays out the edge nicely. I will make sure to get some footage of them after they're washed. See, these I just doodled with the Sharpie on the back and came up with some smaller ones and then just cut out the largest outside shape. Here's a little bitty one. And then I took the scraps and just cut out a general leaf shape. Some of them are kind of odd shaped, but though again with the fraying, it's really, really forgiving, and it will enhance pretty much any shape. I really like working with the denim. It's just such a forgiving medium. So we'll cut out a nice big leaf here. See how easy that was? Just a simple leaf shape. Anybody can do that. So that's one way that I make flowers. I learned a new method today from Jody Fi. I will link her video below. Excuse me. For this method, she has a bunch of squares pre-cut because she's super organized. I am not that organized, so I make my squares as I go. But you have to start with the square paper. It's the easiest way I know of to get a square paper without measuring is to just fold it over and rip it, cut it, whatever. You don't have to have super perfect squares, and that extra fold doesn't matter. I mean, flowers have lots of movement to them anyways. And so fold the paper in, you fold your square in half, and then You take this corner and fold it up about a third of the way, and going to make sure that you crease everything really good as you go. I'm not super good at that, so mine are a little bit messier than hers, but I still get a flower shape. And then, okay, so you folded this up, and then you fold that corner to this corner, and then you flip the whole thing over and fold it over like that, and you've got like what looks like a little ice cream cone. And then you take your scissors, and you have to play with this. You just get a feel for it after you've done a couple, how you can manipulate the shape of the leaf here, or of the petal. I kind of like to come down at an angle like this, and then come around and go kind of deep. And then before I unfold it all the way, I open just this one, and that gives you, that's gonna be your petal shape. If you don't like this shape, fold it back up, do another cut, check the shape. I'm fine with this shape. This is fine. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just unfold it. And there we go. We have a little pretty paper flower. And then here's a bunch of other ones. Let's get rid of that I did before getting on camera. And you know, you can make them out of all kinds of different paper. Made this out of the mulberry paper. And the deeper your cut on the first fold is this here. I'll show you what I mean here. I'll just start do another one. Let's see. So we fold this in half. The paper I'm using is out of a field guide, so it's very, very thin, almost like a Bible or a dictionary type paper. I find that paper best, excuse me, for any kind of folding of this nature. Also, flowers, you want to sometimes layer them up, and so the thinner the paper, the more layers you can have without bulking things out. So, but really, you can use any paper. You can use cardstock. I'll show you in just a minute. I actually made some out of some cardstock. It was much more difficult, but they did. I mean, you can do it. So, from this position, you know, you've finished your last fold. This fold it over. The way that this sits in here is that is your petal shape. So this point that I prefer to start on, this point on the right hand side, the further down you take it, the more inset your petal will be. The further out you take it, so we line those up in the same manner. You see, the further out it comes, now we have a point over there when you unfold it. You will totally understand that better once you start doing them yourself, but that's what that is. It's this first cut is the middle of the petal. This outer cut is in between each petal. So like I said, I like to come out further, and I also like to flip it over and double check that this fold is higher than this corner. Make sure I'm getting everything, because sometimes, you know, you don't fold it exactly the same way every time. And so you're going to have some variation. And so you want to just kind of double check. And so let's see if we come in really far and then flare back out at the last second. Let's see what that did. That'll be interesting. That creates a nice wide space in between the petals. And you don't have to worry about directionality of your words. If you want your words up, just spin it to where that side is up. You know, it doesn't matter while you're cutting it. It makes no difference where the words are, which is awesome. One less thing to get fussy about. But you can turn them, you know, if you want those words visible, you know, you can turn them the right way when you place them. But see, I made some when I was out. I have puppies, and they are rather large, and our fence was sufficient for our older dogs, but not so much for the puppies. So we're outside with supervision only at this moment. We have a plan to fix that, but you know, that's where it is at the moment. So I took some paper outside and I made a bunch of flowers while I was watching them. Some larger ones, some smaller ones, a bunch out of this field guide. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. I hope I edited that out well. But here's one I made out of the thicker field guide paper. I don't know what weight it is, but it's thicker paper. I just wanted to see if it would work, and it did work. It was a little tough to cut, but it worked out really nicely, and this butterfly is actually pretty much all there. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then just a bunch of different ones. And you can also, if you just cut it more, you know, like straight, you get more of a star than a flower. But lots of different ones. And then I was also just fussy cutting butterflies as well while I was out there. So that's today's mass make in preparation for my flower clusters this coming up week. You can make these out of any paper. It doesn't, you know, there is no restriction really. Ooh, I wonder what one would look like out of music paper. Let's go ahead and do that. My puppies are ready for me to be done with this video. If you can hear them in the background. They're waiting very patiently in their kennel after having finished their lunch. Well, you know, they're losing patience, but you know, they were waiting very patiently. And then we will be going back outside. But we're going to do this one more real quick. They are 5-month-old German Shepherd Heeler mixes. They are right around 50 pounds already, if you can believe that. So we have to, you know, we've worked on a lot of training, a lot of obedience training already. So, okay, here's my last fold. Let's flip that over. Okay. So like I said, I like mine to be more pointed out here. Come around. There we go. And let's see. Open it up. Do I like that petal shape? Excuse me, my allergies are bothering me today. Yes, I do like that petal shape. Oh, another little thing I wanted to mention too is before you unfold it, if you want to like come in and ruffle this paper up with the edge of your scissors, it is much easier to do now, especially with the thinner papers. A lot of those thinner papers, you wouldn't even be able to do this once it's flat. Excuse me. So I really like doing this when I'm outside too, so that way all that dust is just going everywhere outside. Excuse me for that sniffle. Promise I'm not actually sick, it's just allergies. If you watch my channel for long enough, you will know I sound like this every so often. But here we go. If I can get it open. That's beautiful. And then of course, if you know, once you take inks to these of any kind, you could, you know, especially these white ones, I will likely put a bunch of these, excuse me again, in a plastic either bin or just a sandwich bag, and spritz them with alcohol ink outside. Or you could take ink to them, you know, do all kinds of things, layer them the different colors with the different shapes. And in Joey's tutorial, she talks about how she doesn't go much smaller than about 2 inches. I say take your best shot. Do whatever you're comfortable with. The thinner the paper you have, the smaller you'll be able to go. Um, Also use a very sharp pair of scissors. So, but it's really just up to whatever you're comfortable cutting. So, but thanks for watching. Hi guys, this is a quick little update for those jean flowers, those denim flowers that I cut out in the beginning of the video, and the leaves. This is how they come out of the wash. It's quite ridiculous actually, but look at when you unfold them, you have all these fuzzies, but look at how pretty. Look at that frayed edge. I think that's just, it's one of my favorite things. More leaves. I made a bunch of leaves out of the scraps. That's a square piece for another something. Let's see if I can find another flower. Here's another flower. And I will iron these to help keep them flat most of the time. Sometimes I will go ahead and just use them. Like if I'm not going to use them right away, I'll just stack them like this and then put a bunch of books on them because I'm lazy like that. And I really don't like to iron. I have 9 cats, 5 of which are primarily outside, but still. I have a bunch of cats, and I have 5 dogs, so, and my daughter has a dog, so there's 6 dogs in the house, and it just, ironing can be tricky with that many bodies coming and going and everywhere. So, oh, and by the way, we live way out in the middle of nowhere, and I have 40 acres, or we have 40 acres that we live on, so it may seem like a lot, but when you think about it like that, you know, we're way out here. The cats, oh, that one turned out really, really good. I like that kink in it. It makes it look like a really cool leaf. So, but the cats really, really help keep down the mice and stuff. So, they're working cats. Let's see. Here's my other flower. Of course, it was the last one. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how it frays out after you cut it, and why it's not really that important if you get like a super perfect cut, because the fraying, you know, disguises all of that. It really hides it. So, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications for when I make a new video if you like what you saw, if you want to see some more. Thanks.